Look, nobody likes screwing up, right? None of us do, me included. But somewhere along the way, we started treating failure as like a sign we're broken instead of a sign we're learning. If you only ever see the polished parts of someone else's life, of course your own missteps are gonna feel massive, are gonna feel, to a degree, like they're bigger than they actually are. But they're not, though. They're just the cost of getting better. Okay, so pick any person that you respect. You know maybe 5 of their wins tops. That's it. Behind each of those are hundreds of tries that didn't land, that they couldn't quite get working. That's the real ratio. It's not some motivational slogan, it's maths. Reps build skill. No reps equals no skill. It's a lot cheaper to learn that maths early. Blow a little money on a little side project and it stings. But you bounce back. Wait until you've got a mortgage and dependents, and the same lesson can wipe you out. Responsibilities compound. Get the tuition out of the way while the fees are still small. You're also going to look awkward the first time you do almost anything. First podcast episode, probably awkward pauses and weird volume. First sales call, you're probably just gonna ramble. Yeah. First date after a breakup, nerves all over the place. You can, sit on the sidelines and avoid that. Or you can just pay the awkwardness up front and get on with your life. There's no third option. Failure has another upside. Honest feedback. Friends mean well, but they might... How do I say it? But they might spare your feelings. Failure doesn't. Miss a deadline, turns out your planning system isn't working. Lose money on an impulse buy, your impulse could use work. Embarrass yourself in front of people you respect. Your ego was due for a trim. Painful, sure, but clear, absolutely. Same thing with rejection. If you avoid hearing no for most of your life, the first serious rejection can flatten you. Better to collect a stack of no's early, pitch the idea, apply for the role you're somewhat qualified for, but you're not sure, so yeah, ask the person out each no. Toughens you up for the days when the stakes are higher and the no's could be a touch more uncomfortable to bear. So how do you make failure useful instead of just painful? It's actually a simple loop, for me at least. Write down what happened, pick one thing to change, and try again as soon as you can. Not 10 changes, just one. Too many tweaks and you won't know what worked and what didn't. Move quickly so the memory is fresh and you don't spiral into overthinking. Do that for a year and you'll barely recognize your abilities after you're done. is one of mine. I built this software as a service offer that I was so sure would sell. I was like damn near certain. Put in 3 months of evenings, launched, 0 buyers, humiliating. Instead of quitting, I should have rewrote the pitch. I should have narrowed the offer down. I would have made enough to cover the prior loss and then some. Just same skills, just better applied. Because you've seen the kind of application that didn't work. If the first version had limped along with a couple of stales, I'd still be mediocre at pitching. Of course, there are limits. Feeling smart means protecting the floor, basically. Keep rent paid, bills handled, basics covered, experiment on nights and weekends if you have to. The goal is repeated exposure, nothing else. And what it's really not is a meltdown that takes you years and years to undo. Think ahead for a minute. Picture yourself 20 or 30 years from now, looking back. Which moments will older you appreciate more? The handful of tidy wins or the messy stretches where you fucking fell on your face and got back up? Probably the messy stretches. That's where the real progress lives. So here's something concrete. Pick one thing that you've been avoiding because you might fail. Record a rough video for yourself. Send a pitch. Sign up for an open mic. Whatever the fuck you have to do. Shrink the first step until it's small enough that you can not justify putting it off. Narrow it down so far that it's physically impossible for you to put it off and say, whatever, I'll do it later. That is what you need. Do it this week. And afterwards, write 3 sentences about what actually happened. Decide one adjustment, just one. Schedule the next attempt. And that's it. No pep talk required. Fail early, fail small. Fail often enough that it stops feeling like an identity crisis. Every time you do, you kind of collect data that your future self can use. You're making your future self stronger and smarter as you go, as you fail in these trivial things. That future version of you, the one who's calmer, the one who's more capable, less rattled, only exists because you were willing to take these hits now. So fail on purpose, with your eyes wide open. Then take the feedback, make the tweak, and swing again. Your older self is still counting on you to get those reps in. I'm rooting for you. Have an amazing day.